guys, you ever been working in your PDM vault in the archive server and wondering, where are the file archives? Then today's Q-tip might just be for you. So let's get started. We're in the archive server, and you have to do this from the server. This is something you can't do from any one of the clients unless your system is configured with an archive server on a client. But you go to the Start menu, and depending on the version of Windows Server that you're running, we're running Server 2012 with R2 Data Center, and we're preparing to upgrade so that we can go to 2020. You go to the Start menu, and then you type in Archive Server. The Archive Server configuration tool is exactly what you need. So go ahead and open that guy. Now, keep in mind here that this is a terminate stay resident. That's old school technology for once you close this, it actually minimizes to the taskbar. So you actually won't be able to reopen it from the Start menu. So if you close it, then you have to go down here and right-click on the icon and go to Open. That's how you get to it because it's staying resident. It's still running. Okay, go into depending on where your archives are, mine are stored in the archives, and these are the vaults that we have in this archive server. And let's say that we want to look at the demo PDM vault file archives. So first, to find those file archives, we would right-click on Demo PDM and click Relocate. First, I'm going to find where those files are being stored, and then I'm going to go to that folder. So the Demo PDM is being stored in the F drive Vault Archives. Interesting note here, your file vault archives can actually be split across two different disks. And so right now we're looking at the F drive Vault Archives. We could actually put some on the F drive and some on the D drive, and PDM will actually do that for you and manage the move. So you don't have to move these files, and besides, if you do, it could create some damage. And a lot of additional back-end programming of SQL, probably a database recovery, lots of mess. Let this system do it for you. So how you would add to this if you needed to. If you needed to add additional drives to your file vault archive and then move them, we would do that here. But first, let's go take a look at these files. They're on the F drive Vault Archives. Right now we have the base set of folders here, and let's bring this down a little bit. 100% of the data is being stored in the F drive Vault Archives. So that's for this database, for the demo PDM. Expand the F drive, expand Vault Archives, and then expand demo PDM. Little fun tidbit here is that these hexadecimal based folders are where all of your SolidWorks, Word files, PDFs, whatever files are in your PDM vault, this is where they're stored. And they're stored in a format that is not really legible, but there is a way to decipher that. We'll actually get into how we do that in the next Q-tip. Okay, jumping in, let's go on something a little bit more exciting. In this folder, under the 9 folder, we've got 0000A solid draw, and then all of these are solid draws, and all of these files are in here, and then we've got some images way down here below. These are actually the thumbnails that are showed in your preview tab inside the PDM Explorer when you're in Windows Explorer looking inside PDM. Each one of these are the different versions of your file, which is a really fascinating tidbit. Now, interesting though, to make note of here, is that there's an index.xml. Whenever your users cache files to their local disk, the index is used to determine what the file name needs to be, because this is not meaningful at all. Like if you open this index.xml, just a simple XML file, the file name is 08T42756.soliddraw. There are 22 versions, and we've got several that have some reference IDs, which means that 22 versions of this file, but some of them, the file didn't change, only the data card changed. And that's why you've got some that actually have a UID and an ID. Okay, enough about that. We'll get into that a little bit more in the next Q-tip. Okay, so the breakdown of this is very simple, even though it looks complex. All of your files that are in your PDM vault are stored in all of these hexadecimal-based folders, and PDM manages the file location right here. If I wanted to move my file vault archive, I can do that using this tool without creating a ton of back office work for fixing the database, updating registry keys, none of that. This will do it for you AutoMagically. We've got the file vault archives in the F drive. 100% of the files in this vault are in the F drive Vault Archives folder. Let's add a location. Once I add, it just puts a placeholder here with 0%. And let's go to the path. We're going to create a new folder something silly like PDM Vault. I just made that up. And we're going to click that folder right there. I've selected the top level PDM Vault folder that I just created. I'm going to click Select Folder. You'll notice that it says PDM Vault, and I've got 0% here. Now, based on whatever I select here will determine what needs to happen with the files over here, but PDM will actually move it for us. So let's slide this slider to 50%. 50% of my documents will go into PDM Vault folder, and then right now you'll notice there's a red dot here because our total size right now is 100 plus 50, 150%. So we'll dial this one down to 50. Perfect. Now we've got 100%, the light is green, and I can split my file vault across 2 disks. Now, I've created the folder for the secondary archive on the same drive. That really won't hurt as far as the I/O goes, but if you're in the IT world and you're trying to save disk space and actually manage your disk loads more efficiently, having 2 separate disks may be something that's beneficial, especially if you're trying to migrate your data in your file archive from a spindle disk, spinning disk, over to an SSD. So this is just a hint for some of those IT professionals out there who may need to know how this process works. Once I click OK, PDM is going to warn me, make sure that all the users are out of your vault before you select OK on this operation, because it's going to take some processing time to actually move those files. This is something great to do over a weekend, depending on the size of your file vault archive, but it's also helpful if you move it in smaller chunks too. So if you want to move 20% this weekend because it's a terabyte, and then another 20% the following weekend, you can stage that. And this is how you would do it. Let's click OK here. So it's moving the file vault archives for us. And it shows you the progress bar, so you know exactly what's going on. All right, let's give this just a moment. Since our vault that we're working with here is not very big, it shouldn't take very long to step through this operation. I'm going to pause the video here and come right back when it's complete. Just wanted to step in here real quick and show you that the progress bar has just finished up on moving all the file archives that it was going to. 50% of the file vault archives have been moved off of this one demo PDM under the Vault Archives folder. You'll notice that we now have 0 through 7 here. The other folders have been moved to here. PDM did this for us. This is not something that you have to spend a great deal of time manually trying to sift through where all the file archives are, what all the hexadecimal folders mean. Just let PDM handle this operation for you, and you'll be better off. You'll be glad that you did. All right, remember, always back up your database, back up your file vault, back up your archive server settings, just like you would do if you're doing an upgrade, because this kind of an operation is fairly technically involved. All right, next week's Q-tip, we will get into how to navigate and decipher how those indexes work and what these hexadecimal folders mean. I hope today's Q-tip's been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and believe in the Q.